Uh, how do you do it?
Oh no, you're there already. You're in
Oh,
the
okay.
hang.
Oh.
Yeah, you're in it. You don't have to watch it or anything. You're in it.
But don't I gotta do something for the video?
Oh yeah. You gotta open it. You gotta open it up so you can see the video. Open up the. Don't open up your video. Just make sure you can see it on screen. Can you see like the Google effects and the YouTube?
Yeah. G.I. Joe episode 20, Cobra's candidate.
Yeah, you see that?
Yeah, I see it.
Good. Oh yeah, I'm gonna move. I'm gonna do Money to Burn.
You know, all right, money to burn. I see it.
All right. I gotta edit out all this stuff, but we're recording, and this is gonna post to YouTube, and then I'll pull down the video and pull down the audio, and there's our episode. This will not have the G.I. Joe audio, just our audio, but we'll be able to watch this together.
So shouldn't we? So I should shut up, but
No.
shouldn't we have the G.I. Joe audio playing during the show, but just like really low?
I'll throw some audio in the background, like some G.I. Joe audio. It doesn't have, it won't, it'll just be like the music or something.
I was just saying because that way, people could whatever.
Yeah, that's how I did last time. Like I just pulled the music down from from the G.I. Joe music and just had it playing in the background, and maybe a couple remixes or something.
Well, that's one way of doing it.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's go ahead and let me start the show. Ba weep grana weep ninny bong. Hello and welcome back to another exciting episode of the Cold Slither Podcast.
Cold Slither.
Cold Slither, baby. I'm your host with the most. You can refer to me as Classic
Hi,
Material.
Classic.
Hi. And of course, I'm joined by my co-host, the one and only Eclectic.
You mean the Black Dempsey?
Well, still, this is a very important show. It's a very classic show, and in honor of Tim DLWG 98's birthday, we kicked him off the show.
Nice.
Now, of course, as Eclectic just mentioned, Tim DLWG, our normal co-host, could not be here today.
No, we kicked him off. You don't have no fucking birthday on our show. Fuck that. Yes,
today is the worst day, but he's probably drinking champagne because he's thirsty, and so a happy celebratory congratulations to our one Tim DLWG. Turning the ripe old age of old enough to drink. So if you out there on the Twitter streets and you see Tim Dog 98 on there, wish him a happy whenever.
Kick him in the dog nuts.
Yeah. Of course, by the time you hear this, he'll already be a few days older on top of what he's celebrating today.
Wait, how old is he? He's turning like what, 23 now, right?
I don't know, something like that.
I know
something with a 2 in front of it.
I know there's a generation gap. Yeah, I was saying there's a generation gap. So
there is. And of course, we're joined by a special guest this week, folks. You know him from our Generals of Geekery episode all the way back in the early first season.
In 1998.
Back in 88.
It might as well have been.
He was the co-host of the General Geekery Podcast. Now he's back with the Regeekery Podcast. So reboot Regeekery. It is
well,
JD.
Yeah, we reanimated it. It's like a zombie now, sort of.
Well, JD, welcome to the Cold Slither Podcast, sir.
Yeah, I'm glad to be on. Pretty awesome. It's been a while.
It has. So what's been going on
it's been a while for us, too.
It has. Well, you're an old friend of ours, and of course, we love General Geekery. We love that you're back with Brian as Regeekery, and still talking about a lot of the same stuff. Toys, cartoons, Doctor Who. You're probably the only podcast I know of that speaks about Doctor Who.
You know what?
This is what I heard about
channel,
Doctor Who.
What do you hear about Doctor Who?
Now, I heard I was supposed to watch it. Now, I was told that I need to watch it, but I was told that do not watch the first season. Watch the second season because the third season is the best television ever.
Well, the first season, and I'm assuming you mean the first season of New Who.
Yeah, the New Who.
Starring
the first
Destro.
one.
Yeah, that's where I started with, but honest to God, here's the thing: is he's my Doctor Who. Usually, the one that you start watching with is your doctor, and he is my Doctor Who. But the doctor that replaced him, the 10th Doctor, David Tennant, he was a much more interesting performance. And I do recommend you start with that second season because he was the doctor for a few seasons. Destro was only the doctor for the one season, and then he told him to, I don't know, fuck off or something.
Yeah, I heard that season 3 is the greatest ever.
It's definitely the height of the 10th Doctor's adventures.
Yeah.
So I do recommend it, but don't go to old Who if you're not already a fan, and don't start with the 11th Doctor because he's a whole lot more. I'm gonna say bizarre.
Yeah, I was told watch season 2. If I could get into season 2, I'll love season 3, and then after that, if I feel like it, going back and watch season 1.
Yeah, watch all of David Tennant's run, and then if you really like it, then go back and watch the first season, and then skip to the 6th season where the 11th Doctor came in. So
this has been your edition of WhoCast, everybody.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? On my Stitcher, I've got a channel set up for a bunch of Doctor Who podcasts, but I'm not always in the mood to listen to them. So
I hear you. Well, that's why you got to have some variety, like Cold Slither podcast and the Click Nation and Eclectic Discussion podcast EDP. But JD, you are also in that rotation with Regeekery Podcast, and those listening, if you're not listening to Regeekery, you need to listen to Regeekery. Check the link here on the site, or you, of course, go to Buzzsprout or look for Regeekery on Twitter. Regeekery Podcast.
Yeah, I was going to say we're on Stitcher, we're on iTunes now.
Nice.
And as soon as Brian gets back to the States, we've got a slate of episodes lined up, including one where we will discuss Iron Man 3 after we both go see it, because he's supposed to be back at the very beginning of May because he wanted to be back in time for Iron Man 3 to open in the theaters. Yes, he's a nerd. He's the Iron Whore for a reason. So
there it goes, folks. That's it. Iron Whore. It's a great nickname. But so other than of course Iron Man and more toy talk, customizations. I mentioned this on Twitter the other day. Every time I listen to your show, I get inspired to go visit Toys R Us for some reason because I want to see what they have out there on the racks.
That's fantastic. You should definitely do that. Although the average Toys R Us doesn't stock a whole lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
The good stuff gets bought up, and then you end up with the leftovers, or you end up with 2-year-old toys that Toys R Us refuses to ever clearance. So,
and on another note, when I listen to the podcast EDP, Eclectic Discussion Podcast, of which I'm on the latest episode, folks.
You mean the house party episode?
That's right. We're getting it in on house party there, talking kid and play, and house party. But I am always inspired to go to my grocer's juice aisle and pick up some Simply lemonade or some Simply orange or Simply whatever.
All right.
Yeah, all the recommendations for Simply there. That's I don't know how much they're paying you, but it's not enough, sir.
It's very delicious.
I don't even know what that sound effect was for. But anyway, while we're still playing with the Google Hangout effects and everything, we are here to, basically just talk Cold Slither stuff, some old school stuff. We'll get into the CSNN, some news, and some Shark the Comp hit. But
also, and if you want to talk geek and comics and toys and figures and gadgets, you can visit the discussion board.
There you go, eclecticdiscussion.envisionzone.com. That is the address for that. Of course, and you can get some drama going there. There's some drama. There's some stuff for the geeks, stuff for the fellas, stuff for the ladies. You can talk about your toys or whatever. Stuff for the nerds like me.
Yeah, but just a warning, because if you disagree with Eclectic, you get things like this.
You do every now and then. Every now. Now we're playing with. All right, now enough playing with the sound effects, folks. Let's get right into why we came together this week. G.I. Joe. Yes, folks, we are getting right back into some G.I. Joe talk. The people have been asking for that ever since our Cold Slither CSP Retaliation episode, where we actually watched Cold Slither, and we watched a few other Joe episodes before then. We're going to get to another G.I. Joe classic episode from A Real American Hero. This one is from Season 1, Episode 21, Money to Burn. You guys, you remember this one at all?
Of course. Cobra Currency.
Oh yeah. Okay.
JD, what do you remember about this episode?
Well, I remember it made Extensive Enterprises seem awesome.
It did. And what I remember most about it, Cobra Currency, Cobra had a stimulus plan. I mean, they outlined the Economic Recovery Act all the way back in 1985.
Exactly.
This episode. This originally aired on October 14th, 1985, and of course, 28, if my math's right, which probably isn't. Yeah, 28 years later, we're gonna watch it. You gotta carry the one, but we're gonna get a chance to, watch it, give some live commentary, folks. The guys here in the podcast, if you're watching this, and just go to the YouTube tab. And I've got it shared on the YouTube tab. And as you have that open, make sure you hit that push to talk button to talk. Otherwise, you won't be heard. Deal?
Yeah.
Hang on a second.
While it's playing.
All right, hang on a second.
I'm going to play it, and while it's playing, actually, I think you guys could still talk. The audio should still come through, but just to make sure, there's a green push to talk button there.
All right, now hang on a second. Let me let me see what we got going on here. I have never used the Hangout before. Wait a minute. Let's see.
The fact that Cobra burned everybody's money.
Yeah, it came with their own currency.
They had the long welfare line and people waiting to get their currency. It's a great show. Cobra Commander's plots were the greatest of all time. He had the best villainous plots ever.
Well, the thing was, they were so elaborate. But it was but that's kind of why they were ineffective too, because it's why are you gonna get there and replace the nation's economy? Just kill everybody.
Well, that's what I said, but
yeah.
You little pussy kids at the time wouldn't have been able to handle it.
Hey, we were able to deal with Optimus Prime being killed.
Although, most hilarious thing ever.
Yeah, although Duke had his own miraculous recovery in G.I. Joe the movie.
Yeah, well, you know what? He got a snake through the heart, and
how do you live?
Kind of an awesome way to go.
How do you suck the venom out of that? I don't know.
I don't know, but he could have had Scarlett do it. She would have.
Whore.
I was going to say she's a giant whore. So.
I paid for that secret episode. So are we all systems go on the video, folks?
Yep. We
right.
Sure are.
I'm going to hit play, and let's have at it. This is G.I. Joe storming the beaches.
What?
I think it's in another language.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, Telemundo presents G.I. Joe: Money to Burn.
Dude, I think they were speaking Japanese. I think that was that was fantastic. So are we gonna still watch that episode, or
no? We are gonna. I've got an alternative.
That would prove to be the.
Oh my gosh, that was funny as hell.
Right.
Now the thing is, those of you listening are not going to be able to hear this, but the episode came on and he started talking. That wasn't even Spanish. It was Spanish actually, but he just started overdubbing with Spanish talk. It was like the Spanish announce table.
Yeah, that was that was
Mystery Science Theater Fiesta.
Yeah, it's like when Baxter talks to Anchorman. It's like, I don't understand Spanish, Baxter. All right, let's try this one.
Why does Flint get to be the first person to say something?
because Flint's better than Duke.
I don't know, but this is like isn't this like the second intro?
Yeah, this is the second one.
Yeah. I hate when they had the against Cobra and Destro. Like, fuck you.
What? What's wrong with that? Destro is more important than Cobra Commander. Whoa, can't say that on a podcast with Eclectic.
You damn right you can't, you asshole.
This is G.I. Joe scaling the Cobra Terradrome with the grappling hooks. Grappling hooks were big in the 80s, weren't they?
I liked it better when Bazooka trips and falls with the bazooka.
Yeah. The synchronized flipping of the Crimson Guard.
I hate Bazooka. He's the worst G.I. Joe character ever.
You know, it's really tough to find all of Cobra's secret hideouts when they're all built like giant cobras.
Money to Burn, written by Roger Silver. And we start off, there's some mystery guy stealing
Coin store.
Smash and grab is what they call it.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure Firefly set the dynamite on that safe.
But wait, it's called the Coin Store?
Yeah.
Oh, and then the Art Museum.
Oh, it's called the Art Museum. Hey, why not?
Not even a name, just Art Museum, generic. So all these steps taking place, jewelry.
I was gonna say, why are the Crimson Twins frisking people?
Oh no, they're paying people out.
You know, I'm waiting for the story of the Cobra tailor, the one that creates all these outfits for these guys.
The one who sewed the cod pieces onto their acrobat outfits.
Yeah, he's got a lot of snake iron-on transfers.
I think that's Flint's voice. I think that's Bill Ratner doing that voice.
Yeah. Oh, maybe it's Flint in disguise.
All right, so the Crimson Guard are getting all the valuables, including a Brinks truck full of money.
I think that's a Rinks truck.
Oh, yes. Or
Beware the product placement. Oh,
Blinks.
A Blinks truck. I'm sorry.
Blink and you'll miss it.
Extensive Enterprises, the tallest building in Springfield.
Oh, and they've got a secret bookcase right to the executive CEO's offices. Oh, and you can put your costume in a briefcase just like that and change it to a suit. Now you notice they had a nice selection of suits, but they always wore the same dark blue number.
Well, God forbid they don't wear Cobra blue.
Yeah.
They also changed in front of each other. Very naked time.
Well, they're twins.
Well, they are twins, yeah.
There's nothing they haven't seen before.
And
you have a bump on your left ball, and I have a bump on my right.
God.
But wait, why change so you can get into a Rattler and go to the Cobra base? You might as well
I don't know. Shouldn't they have put flight suits on or something?
Appearance is everything.
Yeah. Oh, and there's the money.
So Destro is burning money.
Which is a federal crime, by the way. Isn't that a federal offense?
Yeah, well, that definitely is. But, the Cobra doesn't have time for federal offenses.
Yeah.
And we go to the G.I. Joes playing poker.
Or is that Pinochle?
Or Old Maid.
Yeah.
It's Old Maid.
But with Ace at the table, I mean, other than flying planes, that's the only other thing he's good at.
No, I was going to say, yeah, he can con anybody out of, hey, wait a minute, Ripcord's the wrong color in this.
Yeah, that's not Marlon Wayans. And the money's on fire.
Oh, and it just burns Thunder's ass.
It burned right out of his wallet. Oh, and there's your obligatory roadblock rhyme.
God, Breaker's voice drives me nuts on this.
Breaker needs a shave.
Citizens.
Clearly, there's only one channel on TV.
Breaker's got way too much beard for the Army.
Well, you remember what it was like in the 60s when the president was on, all three channels had the president on.
Isn't that the same guy with the Brinks truck?
Yes. Yeah, that was the same guy.
Wow.
We get the classic
I was going to say,
car
his pink
blowing
Cadillac
up.
just blew up.
And then the guy's going to put the money under his hat, and then his hair catches on fire.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, jeez.
And Aunt May, yeah, she puts her money under, and
Collective
Spidey
stole
is going to
my
have to
joke.
come.
Aunt Mabel. Going crazy outside the Department of Treasury, chanting, "We want money." Buying and selling is replaced by rioting and looting.
Fine as Lady J,
Hey,
short
wait a
haircut. Unlike the long ponytail that we saw in this bullshit
Yeah, I was
movie.
going to say, wait a minute, why is Flint wearing his beret? Shouldn't he just be wearing a vest at this point since...
And be totally useless.
Completely useless. Good
And-
Lord. What
and
did
why is
Flint
the
do in that
Roadblock-
movie?
Why isn't Roadblock, laying the smackers
Samoan?
down?
Oh,
Wow. His
looks
TV's
like
on
the
his
guy has a
watch.
brand new Apple Watch that hasn't come out yet.
Cobra's on TV. Check my watch.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's about the only thing Apple hasn't done yet, is put the...
So you gotta take your valuables to Extensive Enterprise.
Oh, wait, how many branches you think
branches.
extensive... Hey, how many branches you think they got?
If they're anything like Bank of America, zillions.
I was going to say, they're on every... They're 10 minutes in between each location.
Cobra Commander has already freshly minted Cobra currency with his likeness on the coin. So obviously there's a Cobra mint somewhere.
Yeah, I was going to say, somebody's been planning ahead.
Hey, remember every motorcycle back in the days had a sidecar?
Yeah, well...
And the guy picks the girl to beat up.
A random civilian can just like take a G.I. Joe and like
That
shove
has
her aside.
spears on her back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, that should have been a warning.
Whoa, that was a nice knockout change purse.
Ripcord just got cold cocked by somebody's purse.
Yeah.
And
oh, it's a riot. Panic
I was
in
going
the
to say,
streets
look,
over
it's
money.
Gung Ho's uncle.
Oh boy, it's like a Tea Party rally.
No, I was going to say,
here come the races.
oh, nice. That's not right.
Oh, I got something to string them up with. Meanwhile, I put the car in neutral and I'm going to kill my daughter.
The whitest woman in America just noticed it.
Yeah, because,
And Penny from Inspector Gadget is about to die.
Man.
And you know what? No commercial breaks on YouTube, so we're right back to Nora G.I. Joe.
Thank God.
All right, now where we left off was Penny from Inspector Gadget is flying down a hill.
Well, you'd think that Brain could drive the car in the stead of the cowboy father.
Can take a rope and lasso a speeding vehicle and pull a little girl out of the back of a pickup.
Dude, even Batman can't do that shit.
Oh, all of a sudden, because he saved his daughter, he's turned around
Burt
his
Reynolds
racist
is
ways.
okay. Burt Reynolds is okay with the black guy now.
Yeah, you're okay in my book there, Darky.
Nice.
I guess it was an accidental racism.
Yeah, and then just when Roadblock walks in, the white guy say, "You can't come in here."
Yes.
Well, that's all right. The black guy's gonna kick his ass.
Up, straight to the
no.
penthouse of extensive
Spared
enterprises. Wow, they're storming right to the CEO's door.
Yeah, Amanda Waller is not letting him in.
Well, Miss Beakley is getting put aside.
Beakley.
Miss Tenderhunch.
Wow. No shit.
I love it. Sometimes they know they're working for Cobra, other times they don't.
Nope. There you go.
And they're doing the tennis match back and forth as they talk.
They don't know which way to look. They're like, I'll go.
I'm gonna trouble your faces in the pasta. That didn't even rhyme though.
And it meant nothing.
Yeah. It's a culinary reference because he's also.
I'm gonna guess this is the Baroness in disguise. Just a hunch.
Someone broke their leg.
Oh, our hands are tied. We can't arrest them. Oh, they pulled the Crimson Twins on them.
Yeah, that's fucked up. That's twinsism.
Yeah.
Twinsism. Oh no. Okay, that's got to be the Baroness. The Baroness has to be in disguise somewhere in this episode, correct?
Speaking of disguise, there's the Joes in disguise.
Who are clearly very fast to get to where she was going.
Yeah. All right, now they're going to disguise as Cobra troops and get on Extensive Enterprises plane. And we got Miss Henstridge or Henteridge.
Henderhunch, well, who is clearly Lady Jane now, because it's a good thing that she had the exact
dimensions.
Yeah, and got a wig to match.
Oh, CoverGirl must be off this week.
How many episodes do we see Flint running around in the Cobra disguise? This is at least the third or fourth episode he did that.
Meanwhile, Miss Henderhunch is catching a little Roblox fever.
I think she just gave him head.
Oh no, they were just sharing recipes back and forth. This is all innocent.
That's the name of it.
Yeah, there we go. Share recipes.
I mean, it's wonderful that Lady J was able to get a mask and get makeup and a wig and a brooch that has transmitters on it just in time.
Hey, it works for Mission Impossible, so hey, it works for G.I. Joe too.
All right. Well, that brooch was the single. Oh my gosh, the Yo Joe from Miss Henderhunch.
She yodeled it.
Yeah, the yodeling going on.
Now wait a minute, who's the co-pilot here? Oh, Ripcord. Oh, okay. See, that fits. He wanted to be a pilot in the movie too. You know what? It always bugged me watching this show that Ace, his uniform looks so much cooler on the cartoon than the toy that I had, because that Ace was goofy.
Oh, that toy was... Well, the toy, it was like if you took off that helmet, it looked terrible.
Oh, yeah, and he looked like a 60s astronaut. See, that always bugged me. I always wanted a toy based on Ace from the cartoon, but it never happened.
Is it worse than Deep Six?
Oh, God.
Deep Six.
No, that thing was a block of cheese that bubbled.
And the thing was, I wanted that back in the day. It's terrible.
It came with the Shark. In my opinion, the Shark is the worst G.I. Joe vehicle ever.
All right. So the invisible mountain on radar is where they're going to try to find Cobra's hideout.
Only has one missile. Again, that's very inconspicuous, a gigantic Cobra head.
Wow, look at all that gold.
They have more gold than Fort Knox does.
In fact, Scrooge McDuck.
Yeah.
I was going to say, it looks like the cave in Aladdin with all the... Are they spray painting those coins?
Yeah, it's alchemy. They're basically taking iron and just spray painting it gold.
I was going to say, there's got to be some counterfeit laws against that.
Yeah.
Hey, the Mass Device.
Mass Device 1.1.
Yeah. Oh, Mr. Henderhunch is packing heat.
It's a hand cannon, too. Look at that. No kidding.
And now hit her with the butt of the gun instead of killing her.
Yeah. Oh, no, she's had time to unmask and do her ninjutsu.
Now, she had a dress on, correct?
She did.
Now she has on boots and pants.
I was going to say, it hid the fatigue pants.
Yeah. It hid the boots as well?
Well, details, yeah. She had high heels on.
And she had spears on her back while she was in the dress.
Well, a collapsible javelin.
What's going on?
Yeah.
Why is there a snow serpent out there?
Yeah, they're not in the snow.
I was going to say, this
and he's on the roof in skis.
And skis.
Well, if you ever want to be a Cobra, that's how you do it. You get on a roof and skis when it's not snowing.
That's awesome.
Ripcord is going by his instincts, talking about a fake mountain, but he's going to die. R.I.P. Ripcord.
They have great radio communication. He was able to hear all of that.
When last we left, Ripcord was about to die. He was plummeting to his doom.
So, wait, does he think the mountain's a hologram? Oh.
And he's right.
Yeah.
Wait, that was the same trick the
Batcave
Batcave used in the 1989 Batman movie, right? With the false wall?
Exactly. Vicky Vale was all, upset, scared. Bruce is he just strides right through it. A little Wile E. Coyote action there.
I was going to say, and he's got an Acme parachute. What's with all the generic Joes? That always drove me nuts on the show. They've got so many specialists. Why they have a bunch of nameless, guys
like
that
in the
look
movie?
like clones? That's a giant hang-up of mine with that movie. That drove me insane.
All right, so they are in the snow.
Now they're in the snow, and they're doing
there's no snow serpents.
Skiing.
And they're skiing in short-sleeve shirts.
Oh, wow. A fleet of trouble bubbles on the Cobra ship, though.
I wish I would have a fleet of trouble bubbles.
Dude, I just want one. I'd like to fly one around just once. That'd be fun.
Man. Cobra Commander's not dealing with this shit. He's out. As ingenious as Cobra Commander is, he doesn't have too much faith in his plans when he's the first one retreating all the time.
Well, the Crimson Twins are skiing after Lady J with laser rifles, of which she has nothing, and they haven't hit her yet.
Oh, it's kind of hard to aim on skis.
Is this the only episode of the show that Thunder was ever in?
It might be.
I want to say yes.
I was going to say, I don't think he ever appeared more than this and maybe once or twice, 2 other times.
Okay. Lady J's down. They have guns, and...
Yeah. Well, I guess they feel they've captured her.
Why doesn't Roadblock have a winter jacket on? Man.
He's the Rock.
I was going to say...
He's your obligatory...
There's Firefly.
Oh, I forgot that Firefly was in this episode.
Firefly with a blowtorch.
Hey, look, he keeps his mask on.
I was gonna say he uses whatever to blow things up, but I noticed he didn't say a goofy line like making more things go boom before 9 a.m. though most people do all day. Lame. Lame.
It's a Crimson Guard commander commanding the Cobra Troopers.
Yeah, for an episode called Money to Burn, we don't see too much money burning. It's pretty heavy on the action, though.
Shoot her! Shoot her in the back!
Hey. Not Lady J. If it was Scarlet, I'd say shoot her.
And she comes to just in time. Now punch him in the face so his brother can feel it.
Shouldn't his brother be taking a shot right now?
Nice. Wait a minute. There was a rocket built into that javelin. Really?
Yeah, somehow.
Yeah. And the button just so happened to be right there.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look
Why
it
isn't
up.
Roadblock dead now?
I know. It's not like he barely ducked out of the way. The explosion hit and he like fell.
Oh, hey, there's Eclectic's girl on screen.
Right, I'm about to beat it.
See, I knew she'd have to show up at some point.
The Baroness.
Now, what is the name of those Cobra vehicles?
The ASP.
The ASP, yeah.
It was aerial something platform. They were anti-tank coastline defender things. Oh, they literally used the landing skids on the Skyhawk as skis. That was genius.
Wow. Oh, and of course, Flint punches one, and they both feel it and fall.
Of course they do.
That is an awful weakness.
Oh, it's Corsican twins. That's.
Oh, jeez.
But they're acting surprised that this is happening. Like they don't.
They act
their
surprised
fall.
every time.
Yeah. Hey, I hit you, and the other guy felt it. When did that happen? Like, yeah, you've been fighting for years, guy.
I was going to say, so wait a minute, if a sniper takes one out, does the other one go down automatically?
I would think so.
Or does he just get a headache?
Well, this is G.I. Joe. No snipers actually hit their target except for
that's
Lowlight.
Right. Oh, that. No, Lowlight just had bad dreams.
Yeah, that's true. He did reconnaissance. I don't remember him firing any shots.
That's true. Wow.
And, of course, Ripcord saved the day and destroyed
And now money is raining down.
And Roadblock made the joke that it was pennies from heaven. Nice. Ooh, and Cobra's like, oh my god, we've never gotten paychecks like this for this.
Yeah, no Cobra troopers are fighting anymore. They all want the money.
I was going to say, they're all going to cut and run now.
Yeah. It's not real money anyway.
Yeah, it's funny money, which they would know if they actually paid attention.
Now, what is exploding these vehicles now? And where did Spirit come from?
I was going to say,
he was in that crew.
Well, if you back up a couple of frames, you'll see that Flint's character model was standing right there, but it was colored like Duke.
Yeah, I saw that.
He had the khaki shirt and the green pants, and weird.
That was Fruit. That was like fake Flint and Duke. And then there's Wild Bill.
Racist.
Wearing blue.
He always wore blue in the cartoon, and it always annoyed me. And when we were kids, we never got toys of him that was wearing blue. He just had the pukey green fatigues.
And now they're back at the table playing poker. And Ace is winning with the royal flush. On Ripcord, finally wins one. Of course, he's cheating.
Oh, jeez.
There's the name of the
yeah, 2 hands on your stomach, lean back and laugh.
I was going to say, you guys aren't laughing with your shoulders shaking, are you? Because I was. Man. Ooh, let's watch another one.
See, this is why the movie sucks. Because all they had to do was something like this and stretch it into a movie. Use the cast is already there. You already got the characters. You already got the plots. But no.
You mean the Cobra Law movie or the live action ones they're doing now?
Live action movies.
Because I really think that this plot right here that we just watched, I really think that would work beautifully in a live action one.
Well, it could be helped by live action, but not told as is because, I don't know, what we watched was
obviously.
terrible.
Well, told as is, it'd be 15 minutes anyway. But no, they used the plot, used the cast.
Well, and use the plot because, honestly, that plot line with the people desperate to get more money, it's relevant in this economic climate that we live in right now. It's actually kind of amazing. This show, it was on in the 80s. It was written in the 80s, but how strangely foretelling some of the plot lines were.
Thanks to the G.I. Joe wiki, I looked up this episode, and there's some continuity.
bragging?
Yeah, of course. And now there's some glitches and some errors, I'll point out. When Lady J removes her disguise, she's wearing her standard uniform. She costs twins in their business attire before escaping. When next shown, the twins are in their battle suits, chasing J, who is now in her polar gear.
She
galore.
She clearly had a javelin with a costume tip, and then she opened it up, and her polar gear was inside it.
Check this out. Before escaping in his troubled bubble, Cobra Commander is missing one of his diamond-shaped pins in his collar.
I did notice that.
Cobra
was the one on the right, actually.
Yeah. And now this one, Cobra assumes the U.S. economy will crumble because there will be no paper money, but there are numerous gold and silver reserves. Additionally, the Federal Reserve could produce coins to combat Cobra's scheme.
But not that quickly.
Yeah, I was going to say that they plan that long in advance, and especially with the governing bodies that we have right now, it would take them a week to work out a plan to combat that.
Cobra also makes a huge assumption that their gold coins will suddenly be accepted by the government, merchants, etc. as legal currency. The Cobra would have to literally go to every merchant, every store, and say, "You're going to take this currency or else." That's a lot of extortion. And Cobra only has so much manpower for that. I doubt it. Firefly creates a tidal wave of water, snow, and ice of biblical proportions with a small handheld flamethrower. What's that?
Well, yeah, that's true.
He can do whatever he wants.
I was gonna say I'm sure he's got a. I'm sure he had a specially engineered blowtorch that blew or that burned hotter than.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if that was a tidal wave or an avalanche, but that was just too damn much.
Actually, you know what? You're right. That was an avalanche.
That was just sick. There was water, there was snow, everything was falling out that mountain off of like one small blowtorch. It wasn't like he, rigged some explosives or something.
Yeah, that was perhaps off screen. That is what happened. We just didn't see him plant those.
There you go. Get your no prize. And then in the closing card game, Ace asked Ripcord how he got past the Polar Trooper at the temple. Ripcord actually took out a standard Cobra Trooper, not a Snow Serpent, one of Cobra's Polar Troopers.
That was clearly a Snow Serpent in that costume.
He was in disguise while on duty.
Yeah, which is also one of the greatest figures ever.
What, the Snow Serpent? Yeah.
Yes. As mentioned on the G.I. Joe episode of the EDP.
You mean the class of 1985 episode guest starring Jay Corduroy?
There you go.
Wow.
That episode. I'm not above cheap plugging my friends' podcasts.
Well, make sure you listen to it as well.
So when are we gonna do this again? This was fun.
Pretty soon, hopefully. And hey, there's plenty of show left because we can get into some other parts that we always talk about. But first, let's take a quick break. Come back with no Cold Slither podcast after this. Do you suffer from erectile dysfunction?
Not lately.
Do you have performance anxiety? Or maybe there's nothing going on in the bedroom.
Nice.
However you do that, you can get revitalized with new Cobra Elixir.
You know what? If Dr. Mindbender came up with that, I wouldn't trust it.
Yes. Genetically recombinated from the DNA of some of the world's most infamous despots, Cobra Elixir will have your snake standing at attention.
Nice.
And you will be a more authoritative figure in the bedroom. In fact, all of your commands will be met with gratitude and with compliance if you close them out with this I command. And you'll be able to stab people in the heart with your serpent.
Cobra la 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 la.
No.
That's what the ladies will say.
Nice.
Try Cobra Elixir today. All right. We're back with more Cold Slither Podcast. I'm your host with the most. Sometimes I play with Powder Toast. You can call me Classic. I'm here with my co-host, the man himself, Eclectic.
Yeah, that's right. Fuckers.
And our guest, JD from the Regeekery Podcast.
Howdy, folks. What's going on?
All right. Good night, everybody.
Yeah. JD, where can they find Regeekery? You mentioned iTunes and Twitter and Stitcher. Where can they find the Buzzsprout feed?
The specific Buzzsprout feed. Well, I believe if you go to Buzzsprout, you.
And we
All
lost
right.
them. All right. Well, we seem to have run into some technical problems there. JD's gone, but he's not forgotten. Rest in peace, JD. We're thinking of you. No, he's not dead. Well, he was going to say where you can find him on Buzzsprout, but you can, do the math. Find him on find Regeekery Podcast on Buzzsprout. Listen, give him some feedback. Let him know that Cold Slither Podcast sent you, as we try to get him back. As we try to get him back.
You should come up with a snappy name for the G.I. Joe episodes. Like Tim has comic book chronicles and stuff.
Oh, like for a hashtag?
Yeah, or in a category,
Like Joe Talk.
TAWK?
Yeah, that's right. Talk amongst yourselves with the Joes. Well, I'll see if Joe Cast is taken. Probably is. Or we'll call it Cobra Cast. Because, we talk about things from a Cobra perspective.
There you go. So,
Jay, what the hell? You just drop off?
Thank you, everybody. Well, let me go put these clothes in the dryer then, since you're fucking around.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and take a quick take 5.
The fuck, man?
Are you okay? Sound like those clothes didn't wash good. There he is.
Oh yeah, what happened there?
I don't know, man.
I think I accidentally closed the window. Where was I?
Oh, we were gonna get into we were gonna get into our next segment of the show. So
well, yeah, but I was plugging my show. I don't.
Oh yeah. Go ahead. So I'll edit this out. But yeah. So where can they find the Regeekery Cast on Buzzsprout?
We are podcast number 10,242, aka /10242 on Buzzsprout.
Oh wow!
But you can find us on iTunes. You can find us on Stitcher, and very shortly Brian will be back in the country, so we will go back to recording episodes. And I promise Brian, every episode from now to the future, I'm going to attempt to do some editing.
There you go. Yeah, I heard the editing on episode 2.
I was going to say, please tell me how that went, because I've been too afraid to ask for feedback from people on how they think that went.
Oh no, you should ask for feedback. I mean, most it'll be positive, and the first negative feedback, you can just tell them to go fuck yourself.
Yeah, I haven't actually listened to that episode. I'm not too keen to hear the results of it, but yeah, it was my first try at it. Next time. I mean, it's my goal that with every episode it'll sound a little bit better. I mean,
there you go.
Regeekery with me editing, Regeekery's never gonna sound as good as the Cold Slither podcast. And
wait a minute, the Cold Slither podcast sounds good?
Hang on. I ain't done yet. And I was going to say no podcast will ever sound as polished, professional, or slick as the Eclectic Discussion Podcast. But yeah, I'll do what I can. Hey, I'll settle for making it sound like the Click Nation.
You know, it make it sound like Underscoop Fire, and you're 3/4 of the way there.
I was gonna say no. That I would have to get Corey to handle all that because he is an amazing production manager. But yes, Corey Chapman, my hat is off to you. I'm envious of your skills.
All right. Well, enough congratulating each other here. Because I don't want these people to think that we're all fans of them. Let's talk about stuff that we're fans of.
Pussy.
It's news. There might be pussy in the news, but it's the CSNN. This week's CSNN is brought to you by two things. It's brought to you by Tim DOGG98, who usually does the CSNN, but he's out today, so this is in his honor. And it's also brought to you by the Cold Slither Podcast Daily. Yes, we've had a daily newspaper online. Subscribe today. Go to the Cold Slither Podcast.com, then click on that paper.li link, and you can open up the Cold Slither Podcast Daily. Subscribe today, and you'll find it on your inbox every day. We've got all the news that's not fit to print, but is fit to put online. This week's news. First off, WilliamBruceWest.com tops our headlines. As of yesterday, the 19th, he put up the West Week Ever. And, of course, that's his series where he goes over things that have happened throughout the week, particularly trying to sell a 3 feet long 2-in-1 vehicle and playset for the Avengers helicarrier. He actually had that. He gets into toy resellers like Toy Hunter, as well as talking about his appearances on Nerd Lunch, some 90s sitcoms, and who had the West Week Ever. It comes down to between Patton Oswalt, the midget from Seinfeld, and a sorority which had a rant online, as well as a few others. So go check that out. West Week Ever. Let them know Cold Slither Podcast sent you. That's over at WilliamBruceWest.com. And also in the news, Pat Robertson calls D&D, that's Dungeons and Dragons, evil. Is apparently still living in the 80s. That's an article from Blaster.com.
Oh my God, that bastard's been screaming about D&D for the last 30-some-odd years, and I don't think he's ever going to give up on it. Pat Robertson, climb out of the dark ages, you fripping moron, zealot, religious, elitist bastard. Get off your fucking high horse and, fuck you and the horse you rode in on, you piece of crap.
Yeah. Well,
I have feelings, sorry.
No, it's all right. Your opinion is shared. Here's an excerpt from the Blaster article. Robertson claims D&D destroys people's lives. That never actually happened. Pat, are you thinking of the 1982 classic Tom Hanks TV movie Mazes and Monsters, which radically fictionalized the disappearance of James Dallas Egbert III? Yeah, D&D had nothing to do with that real-life event. Turns out Mazes and Monsters was universally panned, thinly veiled piece of propaganda. We've known about this for 3 decades. Yeah, I played D&D when I was growing up, and hey, I'm still here, and I'm just fine.
I was going to say, I played it, and it didn't destroy my life.
Eddie Collectic secretly wants to play it, but never has, and he's just fine.
Yeah, I really, the only thing really that D&D is going to do is probably make you spend money on the source books and monster guides. Yeah. So while it will not help your bank account, it's not going to do a thing to destroy your personal or professional life.
Also in the news, if you go over to marvelcomics.com, the history of Iron Man is currently up, of course, in celebration of 50 years of Iron Man happening this year, and of course the release of Iron Man 3 in theaters May 3rd. The history of Iron Man, right now at part 44, this is when the Civil War erupts, and fresh off Iron Man's Extremis storyline, Extremis, that's good. That storyline and elements of that will be in the movie. For those that are paying attention. But yes, going to Iron Man Civil War and some of the things that he's had to deal with there. Check that out, Marvel.com. I know JD is pretty up on the history of Iron Man as it is.
Yeah, well, I'm a lot more up on it now since Brian's been educating me over the last 5 or 6 years about it.
There you go.
And frankly, I think the Marvel Universe stopped existing just before the Civil War. I think the Civil War is a bit of a blight on the legacy, and all the events since then, I just ignored them altogether. But I'm fine with everything previous to that. I mean, admittedly, I do like the idea of Tony Stark being the head of S.H.I.E.L.D. for a little bit, but I don't like the idea of him replacing Nick Fury as the head of S.H.I.E.L.D., so I suppose it's live and let live in that case. I mean, really, I want to talk Iron Man, talk to my co-host Brian, who is the giant nerd. He's the giantest nerd over Iron Man that has ever walked this planet.
There you go.
That history of Iron Man, I didn't even realize that feature was out there, and I wonder if Brian did. Somebody should let him know.
Oh yeah, Marvel.com, Marvel Comics official website, has done a great job of translating or bringing a lot of their content digitally, including a lot of their encyclopedic content. You can pretty much read the history of any of the superheroes like Iron Man, Spider-Man, going all the way back to their origin stories, and they did a pretty good job of putting all that up online, and of course linking to the comics so that you can rebuy them, which is a great way to move comics and move back issues. So good on their part. It's a lot more than what it used to be when the .coms were just terrible back in the early 2000s. In other news, this comes from superherohype.com. Clark Gregg offers an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. update.
Oh, yeah, that's the one I tweeted about this morning. I'm so friggin' excited it hurts.
Yeah, if you're familiar with the Avengers movie, Clark, and all the Marvel movies leading up to the Avengers, Clark Gregg plays Agent Phil Coulson, who met his untimely demise in the Avengers movie.
I ain't gonna say, I'm not afraid to admit, I cried in the theater when Coulson died. I did. You know what, though? You said if you're familiar. If they're listening to this show and they're not familiar with that, they got problems.
Unless it's, instead of Phil Coulson, the Avengers XXX movie featuring Phil Colon.
Nice.
That's
or Phil Her Cole, son. I don't know. But
where's that cricket sound effect?
It's somewhere around here. I'll let you go find that. But in any case, quote, when John he comments on the mystery as to how he comes back from the dead, because he's going to be one of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in this TV series that's coming up. But without giving it details, he basically says, quote, I don't know how you could not change going through what he went through, talking about Coulson's state of mind during the show. I think if he hadn't gone through some kind of change, it wouldn't be any good. That said, I don't know if he understands how much he's changed, coming back from his apparent death. And of course, there's a big mystery as to how he comes back, which won't be revealed in the show immediately. It'll be one of those long-running plot lines.
I hope so. I hope it's one of those things that they go back to just every once in a while. And I don't want to know all of the answers. I want to have some idea, but I don't want them to explain the whole thing, because I just really I want him to preserve some of the mystery. I'm just glad he's back. Honestly, Coulson, quickly after a couple of movies, I think he became possibly one of my favorite comic characters ever, except that it wasn't until last year or whatever that he was actually in the comic books, because he created him for the movie, and after a few different appearances, he just became an A-list character for me. So when they decided to kill him off, first of all, it took me by surprise, and second of all, again, I reiterate, yes, I cried, and I've been mourning him ever since. But when it was revealed that he would be back on the S.H.I.E.L.D. show, and that it took place after the Avengers, so he was still alive, I may possibly have nerdgasm like a girl. But
well, I didn't believe that he was dead in the movie anyway.
I didn't want to believe it. They sure made it seem like that, but I didn't want to believe it. And I'm glad that he's coming back. And I hope they don't pull the life model decoy thing. I don't think they will. I think he's legitimately alive. I'm curious how they did that. But I can't wait to see that show. I can't wait to see it play out and really putting a Shield television show on the air. That's the most perfect show ever for me. It's like tailor-made for me. I mean, I've got the Shield logo tattooed on my shoulder, for God's sake.
Gee.
Except it's not on HBO.
Yeah, Eclectic wants to see
if it was on HBO or even AMC, you know.
Well, ABC has done a pretty good job with Scandal, and I think
that is true.
And with Joss Whedon writing this thing, it's not going to be like overly cheesy if you're a fan of any of his television stuff. So
I was gonna say ABC, don't they do Revenge? I mean, they can get away with a little bit on that channel.
Yeah,
so.
I do like Revenge.
So we'll see how far they go and how much they put into it. But
plus, I still want Daredevil on HBO. That's what I really want. I want Daredevil and Deadpool on HBO.
There you go. Well, we're writing to Marvel constantly to try to get them to pay attention and follow suit. Other Marvel news or Marvel movie news. Actually, this relates to Iron Man, which we just mentioned. Robert Downey Jr.'s contract is up. With the contract will dry up after this summer's Iron Man 3. And
now he's going to be the Flash in the DC universe.
He's been hinting that he might be done with Iron Man. He might not come back.
I hope not. I don't care what. I don't know if it's just money that he wants or what, but I really hope they can talk him into it, or at least give him a good script for Avengers 2, so maybe he'll come back, because I can understand after this many time playing the character why he might be kind of tired of it, but I don't want to see anybody else play the role. Not because nobody else can. I don't want to see anybody else.
That's the thing. You don't have to. See, the thing is, you don't have to. This is what needs to happen. If the guy's really burnt out on playing the role, it's fine. After Avengers 2, what we do is we start cycling out, characters and everything, but you don't need any Iron Man movies. For the Avengers movies, you could just have the Iron Man suit. It doesn't have to show him, and then they could pay him X amount of dollars to do a couple of cameos and some green screen, but, as far as the battles and stuff, you could just have the suit, and you don't necessarily need him, because you just stop with the Iron Man movies.
Well, and I was going to say,
kind of like what you think they should do with Christian Bale and Batman.
Well, I was going to say, if you watch any of the Iron Man 3 commercials, it looks like most of the suits are remote controlled anyways now. Or they've got some sort of artificial intelligence in them, so I suppose they could get away with that too.
Yeah, so for Avengers. Yeah, Avengers movies and stuff, you can have the suit and he's in the battle, and they can have him do voice work if they, want to. That's fine. That's easy.
That's true.
And then it's just no more Iron Man movies, which is fine. It's, that's cool.
You're holding judgment on the third movie, but you weren't a big fan.
I like that. No, I don't mind the second movie, and I think the third movie is going to be good. I'm just saying, if Downey doesn't want to do it, you just don't do any more of those, and then you bring in you got your other movies.
Well, we don't know if
give us Wonder Man.
We don't know if he's really finished with playing this character, or if he's just like trying to boost his next contract. So, but hey, more to come on that.
Classic, you agree? We need Wonder Man.
No,
we need Wonder Man.
I take a lot more characters than before Wonder Man. Wonder Man.
I'm all for seeing Wonder Man, but honestly, I think the critical characters that we need to see. I mean, obviously, we know the Falcon's going to be in Avengers 2 because he's going to play a substantial. Yeah, and Ant-Man. I mean,
we need Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, we need Scarlet Witch, but honestly,
technically, isn't she a X-Men property?
No, she's an Avenger.
She's
Yeah.
also an.
She's also a mutant though.
Yeah.
And
Well, I think you can have her in the Avengers, but you can't. You can't.
call her.
You can't call her the daughter of Magneto. The same with Quicksilver.
Possibly. Well, I think that the Avengers that we critically need to see as Avengers, if they need to add more people, well, personally, I want to see Power Man. I'd like to see Black Panther, and I would really like to see somebody crazy like Ares come in. And don't bring Sentry in.
Yeah,
though. He
I
was a
was
douche.
Sentry, but no.
Yeah, he's a douche. And I mean, ideally, I'd like to see
Vision.
God, no, please, no.
Oh, come on.
Unless they could do something cool with him.
Well, you can't have Vision without Hank Pym and Ultron. You know.
We're about to have them, though.
I think I mean, they don't need to add too many more people to the lineup too fast, but I think we need to see a U.S. agent.
Oh no.
Oh, USA, yeah. That can play into the West Coast Avengers spinoff that I was talking about a while back.
Or the Force Works spinoff.
I like West Coast Avengers. I like that.
Oh yeah, because I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing Mockingbird. She's not a very important or respectable necessarily character, but I wouldn't mind seeing the whole West Coast. Maybe not Tigra though. She's kind of. But is that her name? I think that was her name.
We gotta get Captain Marvel in.
We
need more women, so we gotta get Captain Marvel in.
No, I want to see the Secret Wars version of Captain Marvel. Damn it. And ideally not the one that looks like he's made out of the fabric of space and time, because that's kind of goofy.
Do you think with the Thor movies we'll ever get Thunderstrike?
I don't know. I'm wondering if we'll get Beta Ray Bill.
Fuck Beta Ray Bill. I hate Beta Ray Bill.
Hey, now. I can see Thunderstrike. I mean, I can see that easily.
Now, would that come out of Avengers or Thor?
Probably Thor. Well,
Yeah,
if they brought him in,
Thor.
it would probably be in the Thor movie, and then they'd have him show up later in the Avengers follow-up.
Other movie news, Thor, The Dark World, the poster is out. You can catch that online.
That's badass. I can't wait.
Yeah.
I'm not looking at it.
All right. Well, one last piece of news, and this is a comic book and video game related. Two video game characters, that we'd long known from the 80s and 90s, Sonic the Hedgehog and Mega Man, have their worlds collide in an Archie comic book. Yes, starting April 2013, which is this month. The crossover is taking place. This is a crossover between Archie, Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic Universe, and Mega Man books, all published by Archie Comics. Who knew that they published Sonic and Mega Man comics? But the two of them are meeting, and their worlds are colliding, meaning all the different elements and characters are going to also combine and collide. From what I'm hearing, the early reviews are that this is a pretty epic tale, epic story. So check that out.
So, wait, you think Cutman will chop off one of Tails' tails?
Possibly. Possibly, and who knows what's going to happen between Amy and Shadow Man.
Does Knuckles show up?
Knuckles is part of the Sonic universe, yeah, so he's in there. Knuckles the Echidna actually had his own series with Archie Comics. Sonic the Hedgehog holds a Guinness World Record. In 2008, they were formally recognized as the longest-running comic book series based on a video game. They've been running since the May 1993.
Really?
And there have been 242 issues under the Archie imprint for Sonic.
Take that, Spider-Man. What?
Oh, too soon. And another bit of news another little tidbit. In fact, Sonic the Hedgehog's middle name is Maurice. I did not know this.
Boy, that's friggin' lame, and I was a better person before I knew that, so that's absolutely atrocious.
Is his last name the Hedgehog?
Yeah, probably so. Yeah, Sonic Maurice the Hedgehog.
That's friggin' terrible.
There you go.
Wow.
But hey, blue on blue crime will be taking place on this Mega Man Sonic crossover. Check that out. And you can thank Tim D.O.G. for sponsoring the CSNN.
All right, folks, I'm out.
Folks, that's been another CSNN. Before we go, let's have a quick Shark to Con pit. What do you say, guys?
Oh yeah, real quick.
All right. Yes, folks, it's everyone's favorite part of the show, the Shark to Con pit. This is where we vent on things that we did not, do not, or will not like on here, the Cold Slither podcast. Who gets put into the Shark to Con pit? Let's go around the room and let the folks know. We'll let Eclectic go first. Eclectic, who do you got for this week's Shark to Con pit?
How about people with their stupid fake outrage on Twitter? When things happen like tragedies or even stuff happen on TV that's not real, the people that get all in their feelings and take it real personal. Now, it's if you're tweeting too much about it, they get upset, or if you're not tweeting about it, they get upset. Shut the fuck up. Just mind your own tweets and whatever the hell you're doing and relax. I saw something on a television show, and it's a television show, and one character did something stupid. I saw on Twitter that someone actually sent a message to the actual actress talking shit.
Oh, wait, you know what? That happened on Scandal, too, when they were going off air for 3 weeks, and everyone was hitting up the show creator on Twitter.
Yeah.
Like, like, I don't control the show schedule. Leave me alone.
Exactly. Calm the fuck down. But that's just me. I use Twitter for entertainment and information. I don't get personal on there, but if people kind of... I'm glad that comic book characters don't have Twitter. Like, I can't believe you, Peter Parker. How could you possibly do that? It's just dumb. People are stupid.
Well, they do have what do you call it? Parody accounts on Twitter, but
I'm pretty sure that people send the writers stuff like that. The comic book writers.
Dan Slott goes through so much shit on Twitter, and it pretty much reposts it all the time. It's ridiculous.
Or, I wonder if, like, racists send, like, Downey Jr., I can't believe you let that black man get a suit. How dare you?
He tainted your armor with his black ways. or I actually feel sorry for LL Cool J's Twitter because Brad Paisley's Twitter because I'm sure that's been hit up a lot of times since that.
I don't feel bad. That song is awful. It's offensive to everybody. It sounds terrible. Everybody that isn't offended by it should be. And frankly, I can't see where either of them ever looked at the song as written and said, "Oh yeah, I'll do that." Are you serious? Why did either of them agree to it?
Paul McCartney and Stevie Wonder are rolling in their graves, and they're not even dead yet.
Frankly, Paul McCartney and Stevie Wonder, that was a thing called some measure of taste. This is just, I'm not outraged by it so much as I'm just baffled. It's like,
that's
why?
the thing, though.
Why did you? Why?
So Paul McCartney and they do the songs, and it's just, the thing is that people just feel the need to voice their opinion, which is fine, but over and over again about the same things. Like, we heard you first time, you didn't like it. All right, cool.
Let's have this discussion. We need to have this discussion about racism, and I think that was Brad Paisley's rationale behind. Well, it's time for us to have a discussion about racism. Like, it's time. It's 2013. Shit, we had plenty of discussions about the shit. Stop doing it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, shut up, Brad Paisley.
Let's have a discussion about relations between men and women. Let's have a discussion. No, stop having the fucking discussions. Either have them or don't have them.
Or have eclectic discussion. Hi.
There you go. Go to his board and hash it out. You can hug it out with eclectic. That's what we do.
Yeah, jerk faces. Anyway, those assholes, those personal feelings havers.
Yeah, Shark the Con for you guys. JD, you're our guest, and as our guest, you get free reign to complain, vent about whatever you like on the Shark the Con pit. Who gets it this week?
Disney.
Whoa.
That ridiculousness with the promise for every single summer starting 2015 for a new Star Wars movie. Are you kidding me? That is, I want to say it's overkill. No, it's beyond overkill. It's ridiculous. Of course, I'm a big believer. A couple of years ago, I used to be a big Star Wars fan. I used to. Then a couple of years ago, I realized, oh God, there's too much Star Wars in the world. Like, the fans were too crazy about it, and there was, too much in the pop culture about it, and it drove me nuts. And
when it was just 3 movies.
Well, no, the thing is, all right, I understand people didn't like the prequels, but it came back into the pop culture consciousness then, and it never quite went away. And look, I'm a huge fan of the Clone Wars. I think it's the best Star Wars since Return of the Jedi. But, no, it's the best in Shadows of the Empire. But anyways, but I think people have gone too crazy about it. And then, I was watching the Clone Wars, but a couple of years ago, I'm like, you know what? I got out of the online part of it because I'm like, God, you know what? They're talking too much about it. They're going on too much about it. They care too much about it. And, constantly hearing about the celebrations going on at Disney, I'm like, I didn't want to hear about it anymore. And then, I got super duper burned out about it, and I walked away from it, all except for the Clone Wars show. I'd watch it, but I wasn't really invested in it. Last year at Easter time, that was 2 years ago, and then last year at Easter time, I was in Walmart, and I saw a plush Darth Vader with bunny ears on it. And that is when I stopped, and I looked at my fiance, and I said, that's it. They've gone too far. I'm done.
And he broke up with her. He got rid of his fiance. What? No? Oh,
no. I broke up Star Wars altogether. It was right then and there. I'm like, that's it. They're done. She's like, wow, that is too much. And I'm like, yeah, I'm done. I walked away from it. That was it. And now, and then a couple of months ago, Disney announces Episode 7. I'm like, yeah, I really don't care because they're going to end up canceling the Clone Wars to make Episode 7. That's exactly what they did. And then I was reading about some spin-off or the solo Han Solo and a solo Yoda movie, and I'm like, oh my God, does anybody really care that much about those characters that they need their own movies? And then I read that from 2015 to eternity, there's going to be a new Star Wars every single summer. I'm like, that's it. They are going to bleed the property dry of any integrity that it ever had. It's gone. I think Disney went after the license just so they could make every Star Wars fanboy that worked for Disney every dream movie they ever wanted to see. They're gonna make it happen now, and
they got that. They got Marvel. Disney basically got everything.
Oh yeah, they got. Well, I mean, they have their fair share of properties, but I mean, at least Marvel, we're getting a couple movies a year, and they're all part of the same universe, but it only just started a few years ago. The Star Wars thing's been going on for, well, at least since the original trilogy ended.
Let me ask this. What if it does take off? Like, what if they actually release a Boba Fett movie and it kicks off and it's great?
All right, let's put it this way. If they do a Boba Fett movie, I'll watch it because Boba Fett's cool. But that's only under the presumption that they don't ignore his backstory given in Episode 2. Because if they ignore that, or they don't acknowledge it, or they pretend that never happened, I won't watch it either. But because I was partial to that, I liked it. But I don't think these people need solo movies. And by that, I mean Han Solo really doesn't need one. And what's the point in having one if Lando Calrissian isn't a main character in it, and Chewbacca is a main character? I mean, if it's going to focus solely on Han Solo, and if it's all going to be Solo and a bunch of other characters, and Chewie and Lando are going to be second tier at best, then there's no reason to make that. Frankly, all right, look, If they make a Lando movie, I'll be all over that. Han Solo, I don't like him that much. But
wait. I would wonder how a Lando movie would go because that's a black male lead in the galaxy. Like, are we gonna have like? Is it just gonna be Lando? Gambling? Is he gonna be like? Is he gonna be like really smooth talking like Billy D is? Are we gonna see a Billy D cameo? Is it gonna be like Black
Are we talking
space?
prequels?
Prequels.
No prequels. Prequels are terrible.
No,
prequels.
that's they want to do the
origins.
Yeah, basically.
No, because we already know what's gonna happen. It's terrible.
No, you know what? I agree. None of those characters need their solo movies and their spotlight movie. They don't need it. I mean, Yoda. We saw enough of Yoda in the we saw so much of Yoda. We don't need to see any more Yoda.
What is it? They might as well make it animated. They're gonna do a Yoda one. No need for that CGI shit.
No, I mean, my fiance, her favorite property, and the thing. One of the things she's the biggest geek over is the Tolkien franchise, and even she said the other day, getting a new Tolkien movie every single year from now that would be like giving solo movies to one of the Hobbits and giving a solo movie to Aragorn and giving a solo movie to Gandalf. No, it's too much. It's too much. You don't need it. It's unnecessary.
But I don't mind it but the extended universe the expanded universe is there. I don't. What makes me cringe is they're not even gonna. They said they're not gonna use that.
No, yeah.
It's written right there.
Yeah, 25 years of
trilogy is right there. Just
25 years of things that other authors have written to fill in the gaps, and they're going to ignore all of it.
Yeah. So they can give Hollywood writers some rub. Hollywood writers are terrible.
I mean, honestly, who cares? I mean, I think I really. Yeah, I think they're gonna take it too far. I mean, I didn't care about episode 7 because honestly, I don't want to see current Mark Hamill, current Harrison Ford, current what's her name, and current Billy D running around pretending to still be action stars when they're all like 70 years old or in the neighborhood. I mean. I think Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher, I think they're the same age as my parents. Guess what? We don't need to see them running around pretending to be the same heroes that we saw.
I don't know. I think I would pay to see JD's parents running around and with lightsabers and fighting each other.
You have no idea how uncool my parents are.
So you're saying that you would not be acceptable to seeing your mother in a slave Leia outfit right now?
All right. Now with that being said, let's move on because just start the competition.
Oh no.
Yeah. So JD's putting Disney in the Shark the Con pit. I'd say good choice, but wait and see. For my selection for the Shark the Con pit, I've got first off a piece of news, and this is kind of a sad news. And this
way to bring down the room, asshole.
Yeah. Hey, it's my show. It's our show. But anyway, comic book store closing down is always a sad day. Jim Hanley's Universe is one of the long-standing stores in New York City selling comic books. They were located across from the Empire State Building, but at the end of this month, they're going to be shut down after, at least 25, 30 years in existence. But the staff has decided they're going to open up a new store, JHU Comics, on 32nd Street. Open just in time for Free Comic Book Day, so all is not lost.
Yay!
Places to buy comics in New York City. If you're not living in New York, you'll still have to go to your Podunk comic book shop up the street or order them online, as I do. But for my Shark the Con pit selection, I'm going to go to video games, Xbox Live, and this one is for Double Dragon. Now, this isn't for Double Dragon Neon, which came out last year. I actually have that game, and it's pretty good. I enjoy it. It's lots of fun. Some people had problems with it, but it was a nice callback to the old Double Dragon, with some some updates, if you will, but told the same old story of Billy and Jimmy Lee trying to rescue Marion. This one is for Double Dragon 2. This is called Double Dragon 2 Wander of the Dragons, and this was reviewed recently on Geeks Gone Raw's Game Enthuse podcast. You can go check that out at geeksgoneraw.com. Let's just say that this one is quite underwhelming. This is a remake of Double Dragon 2, the old sequel, and not as good. Yes, the graphics have improved because it is Xbox Live, but the gameplay, the characters, the movesets, and the controls are terrible. And I would get into more detail, but I would say go online, see it for yourself. Try the demo if you dare, but just read some of the reviews out there. And I'm highly disappointed because Double Dragon Neon had a great sort of promise, and I thought there was going to be a sequel under the same imprint, but apparently it's over this one. So it went from Way Forward Technologies was the developer of the first one. Now Gravity uses this one, but the characters are stiff, they're ugly, they're repetitive, and it's just not a good look. So, the reviews are out there. I'm going to put that in the Shark the Con pit. Double Dragon 2. How about Double Dragon Boo?
Oh no!
Booyah!
Exactly. So get the hell out of here. Feed them to the Shark the Cons, folks. Well, that's been another episode of the Shark the Con Pit in the books, as well as the episode of the Cold Slither Podcast in the books. We've got this one put out, and we have put out, and we will put out, ladies. You can contact the show at coldslitherpodcast.com, and you can follow us on Twitter at coldslitherpod. Keep up with us on Facebook, Google+, and a variety of other social networks. But gentlemen, the floor is yours. Any last words or final thoughts and shouts out?
Not really. I just wanted to. Oh well, now he's not. My 11-week-old son was fussing, and I was going to bring him on so he could say hi, but now he's not saying anything. He's sitting here in my arms, and I figured that if I was sitting here with him, that he might make some sort of noise, but now he's not even gurgling. No, the only shout out I wanted to give was to my son, who is already growing up too fast, and he's not even 3 months old. But I will say he does already have a couple of geeky outfits, and
awesome. There you
very
go.
Shortly. In fact, he's got a Transformers one with the Autobot symbol. Sorry, Eclectic.
Damn it. And shout out to Hasbro for their new Creo G.I. Joe line. That might replace the 3 3/4 inch line as the one that I collect. So, I want to say thanks for you guys for bringing me on the show. It was nice hanging out again. So,
and where can they find you on Twitter? You're under you're tweeting as Regeekery on Twitter.
Yep, I'm the Regeekery Podcast, spelled out just like it is.
Okay, great. And of course, you're on Facebook as well.
Yes, and you can find me there running the Regeekery page. You can also find my personal one at JDO Cynico.
All right. Okay, we'll include all that in the show notes. Thanks again, JD, for coming on.
Thanks a lot.
Any final words?
Listen to the EDP, listen to the Cold Slither, listen to Click Nation. Visit the website, eclecticrelaxation.com. If you're not visiting, you should visit. There's things on there. I think this week we got some Mad Men stuff, some Breaking Bad stuff. We got G.I. Joe file card stuff. The official winner of the greatest childhood TV crushes of all time. Seinfeld Girlfriends, the greatest cereal of all time tournament. Just so go do all that. Go look at all that and listen to the show because it's clearly in the top 1,000 greatest podcasts of all time.
Oh, and shout out to Sidra. Speaking of Seinfeld Girlfriends.
Yeah,
they're real and they are spectacular. Well, as far as my final shouts out, shout out, of course, to you, Eclectic, for coming on. Shout out to our guest, JD, of the Regeekery Podcast, and his co-host, Brian. Check them out, Regeekery Podcast. The geeks are back, folks. You can check them out in the show notes here, as well as Tim D of Double G. Happy birthday, homie. The Click Nation podcast, as well as many other podcasts. Shout out to William Bruce West. Go check him out, WilliamBruceWest.com. Also check out WillsWonders.com. Sponsor of the Slither Madness tournament. Shout out to our Slither Madness winners. You guys should have gotten your gift certificates by now. And, hope you enjoy your prizes from Slither Madness. As well as shouts out to so many other people. Underscoop Fire, Ring Time Pro Wrestling. Shout out to the Wrestlecast crew, as well as the Comic Book Chronicles crew, as well as the League of Extraordinary Bloggers. But before I shout out everybody else in the world, shout out to you, the listener. Because without you, what the hell are we doing this for? Oh, and shout out to Nick Jew. But until the next episode of either this show or Classic Team Up, we will be back with more Cold Slither podcasts. With Cold Slither, you'll be joining us soon.
Assholes.
You grew up on it.
Now go down on it.